gotta hit me up. Your ad could be right here. But back to the show.
I agree, and I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna tell you this now, as somebody's father, as a girl dad, um, I am shooting people. I'm not doing the fighting shit at all. I, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Like I be telling people, like they be thinking I'm joking. I'm like, no, I will shoot you in the motherfucking foot. I ain't trying to kill you, but you come for my daughter. Like there's that. The reason why I say that is because I have a younger sister, and one thing that always sticks out in my head is my mom took her to the playground, and there was a little kid, a little boy that liked her, and
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, you know what, I like you and I think you're
E.
cute, he,
Yeah.
he tried to bully her. So my
Yeah.
sister is going down the slide, and you know how when kids go on a slide, like they sit up. But my sister, she was getting her footing together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was next. And dude, the little kid pushed my sister face first down the slide. And these
Oh,
is
God.
when slides, yeah, these slides weren't the PG-13 ones that are all
That was the
plastic and shit
metal
like that.
burning ones.
Yes. So like she's sliding down there and she chips her tooth on the base of the slide. And
Mm.
my mom being, who she is, shout out to Sherry. So Sherry goes and takes the
Okay.
little boy she takes that boy up the slide and does the same fucking thing to him. So they both ended up having a chip tooth. And the boy's mom was like, well, why would you do that to my son? Blah 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 blah. And my mom said this. She was like, treat others the way you want to be treated. And when she said that, the mother was like, you know how white mothers are. They're like, well, what do you mean? Like, like they're asking themselves a question even though they know the answer. And my mom said, if you would have taught your son how to treat others better, this wouldn't have happened and he wouldn't have gotten the same result.
Mm.
And ever since then, I said, you know what? When I have a daughter, I might be the most overprotective dad in the world, but I know one thing is not going to happen. She's not going to know better. So tying that in, tying that
Yeah.
in, my daughter, as being a biracial kid with a white mom and a black dad, she don't
Mhm.
have to convince the world that she's white because
Right.
she knows for a fact she's white, and she's going to say it probably in a funnier fashion. She's like, "Yeah, I'm one of y'all, but my dad black, and he will shoot you," and I'm fine with it. I'm fucking fine with that. But we got voicemails. We got voicemails.
Listen,
Shout out to y'all.
don't make Greg use his trigger finger.
Man, what?
Okay.
I'm a black man and I enjoy golf. I like playing it.
See?
I I love golf. And for years I've taken flack from all my friends that
Yeah.
I'm a sellout, I'm this, I'm that. And I try to explain to them golf is not a white man's game.
Yep.
Mm,
My old house was the backyard was basically a part of a huge golf course, and predominantly black men golf there. Okay? Golf
mm-hmm.
is just a white man's sport. Hockey is no longer just a white man's sport. Um, what else is there? What is that? Cricket. Cricket is not a white man's sport.
Yep.
It's just not popular in the United States. There's a bunch of sports that's not predominantly white men's sports that people assume they are because they are ignorant.
Yeah.
Good evening,
And
good evening. What's shaking, good people?
What's
How you
up?
guys doing?
oh,
Good.
Just passing through, just got in from work, trying to see what's going on in these stereo streets.
Hey.
Hey, Greg, I got another Kyrie sighting. I'm gonna let you
uh
know
oh,
about it tomorrow on the sport desk.
Oh
uh oh,
snap.
Yeah. So
Oh snap.
Shamik is ready. He is ready. He is ready for the sports. Now, Shamik, it's actually going to be Monday tonight. Tomorrow. The reason why is because at 6 o'clock I will be live with our girl. So core to y'all, but Corey to me. Her and I, we
Mm-hmm.
got the show at 6, and then depending on how the leaderboard works, Shan, you and I might have to jump back on again. Um, I'm going. I'm going to call that one the happy hour, where everything is on the table, but nothing is under the table. Basically, we're just going to talk about every fucking thing. What's bothering us, what's blessing us. I'm going to try to make a podcast episode out of that with all the things that we talk about normally.
Okay.
Because yeah, the leaderboard, I'm not happy with. You
Okay.
filthy animals at stereo. I need you to do better.
Not the
Do
filthy animals.
do do better for me, please. But we got more voicemails. I don't know if you want to hit that button or not, but
Oh my goodness.
y'all better cut that shit out. I will slap you and your mom. I'm not playing.
My guy, I am all the way with you, son. I got 2 daughters. Nigga, I will air this bitch all the way the fuck out.
Yo,
Yeah, okay.
see, but that's the here's the thing. Like as a parent, like me, like I never thought I would be that parent. I thought I was gonna be like the one that's diplomatic because my wife crazy. Like she's already said straight up. She was like, you know what? Like there will be none of that. Like Greg, like if I have to go to the school and I have to talk to the teacher and shit like that, I'll talk to them. But if they start mouthing off, I was like, okay, yeah, that's why you my wife because you fucking crazy. Like I'm cool with that. She actually got some dick that night for just for saying that shit. But
Hey, give me
but
that.
for yeah, for me though, like like he said, not only am I airing it out, like the whole everybody down to the dog. I'm not with them shits at all. I've seen a lot of people like get bullied, like
Mm-hmm.
just people having all types of crazy shit to say to parents. That's why,
Mm-hmm.
like, my sister, she cheerleaded her entire fucking life, and I think that's what kind of like made me the way I am because you would think boys like when they play sports like basketball and football like the parents are ruthless and they are ruthless but there is nothing more ruthless than going to like a ballet class or a cheerleading like event
I've never
them
been to
fucking
one. I can
I'll tell you
imagine.
this them cheerleading events probably one of the worst things I've seen literally parents from opposite teams hope they've said shit like I hope that she drops her my sister was the one that was at the top of those pyramids and shit like that and I've heard other parents say well she looks like she has a wobbly leg I hope she falls I'm like what the fuck yo you parents are trash so for me if somebody said that to my daughter because she's going to play basketball soccer and things like that but honestly whatever she wants to do she wants to do it so if a parent says, you know what, that little girl right there, tackle her, or that little girl, trip her up. Most people say, I'm going to the trunk. I'm not going to the truck because it's underneath the seat. It is in the cooler. Everybody's catching. Mama, daddy, auntie, cousin, all you motherfuckers. I ain't got to show it to you. I'm gonna just let you know. Do you want to apologize now, or do you not want to make it to your car? And it's gonna be that simple. It is that simple for me. A lot of parents for me that I've seen, they act the same way. Just go ahead and just make sure that your kids are good at the end of the day. And that's what I want.
Let me tell you something. These teachers, these other parents, they're gonna want their dads to show up and not me.
Mm.
That's it.
Oh, no, wait, now, I got to ask you a question about that, about teachers. You having 2 girls, say in the small case, because they aren't yet, but, me being like middle school and high school, they were always girl, she's going through puberty pretty early, or she was a teacher, and the teacher treated them like loot shit. They would kick them out of class because like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom on my period or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the teacher, they just picked on them. How are you going to handle 2 girls when they're in middle and school? Teach like shit. How do you handle that?
Popping up, pop up videos. Gonna be like, pop up, mama. Whose mom is this in the hallway? Ma'am, you need a pass. A pass to what? Beat some ass today or a pass to be in your hallway? Because if my child cannot go to the bathroom to change her sanitary napkin, then she gonna
Mm-hmm.
change it right in front of you, in front of the class, and she gonna put it right on your desk. So what you want? You either gonna write her a pass so she could go mind her business and you could teach the class, or we gonna have a problem and I'll just be popping up here watching you teach every day.
Yeah, I've always wondered why was that like, for us as a guy, like if we had to use the bathroom, it had to be like life or death. They would say, well, hey
It's
teacher, I
a
have to go to the
control
bathroom.
thing because you always had that one teacher that when the
Mm-hmm.
period bell rang and you're supposed to go to your next class because they want to show the class that they have control. We're going to sit here for 1 minute since you guys gonna quiet down. Bitch, I have 4 minutes to get to my next class and change these books out in my locker. I'm leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because you're basically setting me up to be a problem for the next teacher that I have because you have a control issue.
Yep. But the thing, like, I was gonna say something. I was gonna talk about airing the shit out, but we've already seen way too many schools get aired out because of kids and shit like that. But what I was gonna say is this: don't air the school out. Like, just fight the teacher. Just fight them, just one time, because there are a lot of teachers like they hold themselves accountable for nothing. That's why every time I go and I look on like Apple News and they're like teacher charged with having sex with 4 of her kids. I'm like, how many? 4?
Thing, because when it comes to a white teacher having sex with students, I feel like they get a slap on the hand. When it comes
Man, what?
to a man who is of a different race being accused of having sex or having relations with a student or a classmate or anything, they get thrown under the jail.
Hmm. They don't really care. Michael Jackson said it best. Rest in peace to him. They don't really care about us. They really
Look
don't.
at look
But I will
at
say,
that what is that gym instructor that had molested all those girls that he
hmm
was coaching for so many years, and he kept coaching. Like, what the fuck?
no, that shit is weird to me. Like, maybe like because I don't have a kid that's in school right now, but when I see shit like that, I'm like, wait a minute, like how? Not only was it 1 or 2 or 3, like it doesn't even matter the number. It was just the fact that the school, the only thing they did was he was suspended with pay, or he was fired, but he could still
Let me
work in the same school district.
tell you something. There will not be no trial for anyone that my child tells me that they touched her, looked at her inappropriately, did anything. It's going to be me privately fixing it. And that's
Look,
all I'm going to say. It might not be my hands, but it will be fixed.
for me, anybody listening to the sound of my voice, I'm gonna tell you this. What we're not gonna do is fuck around with my kid. I do not mind going to jail.
But
I repeat, I do not mind going to jail. I done seen enough episodes of Oz. I done YouTube shit. I know how to make a fifi. I'm straight. I'm straight. I'm absolutely good. I'm telling you this shit now. As sure as I am breathing, like that's my wife and my daughter. I don't play that shit. Oh, and my mom too. My sister as well. So basically, any woman that's in my family, you fuck with them. You don't even get a chance to fuck with me. Like my sister. She's engaged, right? So my sister's engaged, and I haven't had to have the talk with her fiance yet. But I feel like it's one of those things where I don't have to have that discussion with you. There's 3 things I don't do as a man. I don't put my hands on women. I don't spit on the concrete. So there's that. So I definitely don't spit on the concrete. But I do not put my hands on women. I don't call women bitches unnecessarily. Like sometimes, yes, you be a bitch, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you being a bitch. But the issue is, how are you going to change that behavior? That right there matters to me.
let
So
me tell you
that's number
something.
2. And
There's a lot of males out here who do not have that etiquette,
mm-hmm,
and a lot of males out here who have put their hands on women, and those
mm-hmm,
women have a lot of males in their life who
mm-hmm,
who who called after the fact with a
mm-hmm,
green light and no name things.
yep,
And because that woman had an ounce of God in her left, gave them
mm-hmm,
a no to that green
yep.
light on them things. And they just need to be careful.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell anybody this story. I think I told you this before about like my mom's situation. So she was dating a guy, and he had this thing of putting his hands on her. Now he would always wait until after we went to bed and shit like that, but I would always hear them arguing. So I was wondering why the what do you call that little thing, the shit that you used to put on the steering wheel in your car, and had the little key and shit like that to make sure
Oh,
that nobody stole your
the
car.
steering wheel lock.
Yeah. So what she would do is she would put that in front of the door, meaning like, hey, don't interrupt either. So she was having sex, or she was probably going and you fight with this dude, right? So he hit her, and I actually saw it because the door was open. So he
Mm,
hits her, and I was like, yo, like what? I'm looking. I was like, yo, like this is the first time I've ever seen a man put their hands on my mom, and then it
right.
happened again. So I was like, okay, the first time is fool me once. The second time, mind you, I'm 8, so the first time fool me. The second time fool you, but it's not gonna happen again. So I pulled my mom aside and I said, Mom, like, he hit you. And she was like, you'll understand when you have a daughter that this is not the behavior that you're supposed to accept. And then
Right.
I said, to her, and I didn't understand this until we talked recently about it. And I said, Mom, like, but he hit you, and it's
Right.
not the first time. And she said, you know what, son? You're absolutely right. It's the last time. But she said to me, she was like, you better never do what you've seen because
Mhm.
you are better than that. When she told me that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to instill that not only in myself, but any children that I have. You are not putting your hands on the kid. In
Yeah.
saying that, though, he tried a third time. He tried a third time. But what he didn't understand is my mom was like J-Lo in Enough, but she was black.
Mhm.
She got her gun license. And he tried to put his hands on her. He when he grabbed her neck and he threw her against the wall. And my mom said, okay, cool. No big deal. Do you know what she did? She this motherfucker went to sleep. And see, you know who it is. The middle of his forehead, the reason why that shit looked like he's always winking is because she took that pistol. She took that pistol and literally whopped him right in the middle of the motherfucking forehead,
Listen,
bleeding out on her bed. I'm
deserved,
telling you, like,
deserved,
yeah,
and a lot of men are bias because
yeah,
they don't know how to have discussions without raising their voice. They don't know how to have discussions without cussing, and they don't know how to have discussions without threatening. And the way that my father used to win discussions in his house with my mom when they were married is by putting his gun on his table.
yeah. My rule of thumb
And
has always been that.
yeah, and that's unfortunate. And the thing is, most men who try to threaten with guns are usually the ones that can't fight.
Hmm. My rule, my rule of thumb is this: like, when it comes to hitting women, I do not do it. And the reason why I don't do it is because I got cousins, I got a sister, I got a mother. They're not here to fight you. There's a difference between getting in a fight and getting your ass whooped. And they're here handing out ass whoopings. Like when I say handing them out, I'm talking about like fucking like gift cards. They're like, yeah, do you want one? Like Oprah. Like everybody's getting an ass whooping at this point.
Yeah, but
To the
it's
point
just
where for me,
important that we teach our kids growing up right now that only ugly people fight. And
mm-hmm,
I'm teaching both of my daughters to never put their hands on a boy because these boys ain't raised by the right mothers and fathers. And I'm teaching my daughters never to put their hands on a man, never spit on a man, never talk about a
mm-hmm,
man's manliness or not being
mm-hmm,
manly because they're emotionally not balanced.
yeah,
um
yeah,
they are insecure, and a lot of men take a lot of women and girls as threats these days, and
mm-hmm,
they're not going to be fair about how they approach you, and they will kill you just because you don't want to give them your number. They will kill
exactly,
you just because you
exactly,
embarrassed them and you didn't intentionally try to embarrass them. So there's a way that we have to teach our daughters to carry themselves. And for black people, especially black men, I think a lot of black men are in jail cells and in prisons right
mm-hmm,
now, making states a lot of money by being in those cells because they don't know how to emotionally carry themselves. They don't know how to check their
yeah.
pride and their ego, and they make moves on emotion and then they regret it later.
Hmm. That's why the first reaction is always the worst one. It's like, well, damn, I
Yeah.
hit her and I didn't realize it, or
Right.
oh, I pushed her, and next thing you know, she hit her head on the concrete and she died of some shit.
Right.
Now you in jail because you reacted from some shit like that. And I don't want to blame the victims, and it's usually the women that are the victims. But there are a lot of
There
like
are men
behaviors
victims.
that no, but
There
I'm
are
just
men
for
victims. I
me.
just saw a man on Instagram where his
Hmm.
ex-wife poured acid all over him, and his whole face and body is burnt up. But
Yeah,
men don't
but
talk
I'm
about that
like for
because
me, like
men
tying
don't
that
want.
in.
Yeah, men don't want to be looked at as being a bitch because a woman hit them or abused them or did something to them, so they stay quiet. And I think more men need to speak up, because when men walk into a
Yo,
courtroom and there's a woman, women
no.
are usually
Quick
sided with, because women are the ones that speak up.
story time. I don't know. Like it looked like you're frozen. Oh.
Am I frozen now? The girl got merch. I got you on sweatshirts. I got you on long sleeve tops. I got you on hoodies. I got you on masks. If you pro mask out here, okay? I even got you on, bags. You know what I'm saying? On the sign that you need to hide your stash in. Fanny Pack World, I got y'all too. Check out She Gets It Shop on Teespring, okay? I got y'all with the merch, all right? Now back to this show. Am I frozen?
Oh, now you're back. You're back.
Yeah, but what women are the ones that speak up, and men don't speak up, and men do get abused, and it happens every day, and more men need to speak up. I'm gonna play these.
Hey, Greg, be careful about letting your kids know that you own a gun. My daughter, when she was like 6 or 7, she wasn't feeling her teacher. Her teacher was riding her. So one day she came to school and she told her teacher, I'm the reason my father owns a gun. And if you keep messing with me, he definitely going to come up here and shoot you in your face. I was like,
No,
oh, man, I had so many parent-teacher meetings that week. It was crazy.
oh no.
Hey yo, the dude that played golf, his friends wouldn't call him a sellout because he played golf. They called him. They was making fun of him because he had a fat tongue. Man, I don't trust niggas with fat tongues.
I cannot.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to
Oh
just
my God. When you said I would slap you and your mom's flat out died.
see that was you, Shan. That wasn't me. I don't.
No,
Mm.
that was you. That
Oh,
was
no, no.
you.
I said no. Here's the thing. I don't hit women, but I will slap a mom. I will say that. I don't do that shit. You want to be a Karen? Oh, do it. Do it. But I'm only doing it for you, Shan. I'm only doing it for you. You are my motivation.
I don't care who you are. You could be non-binary too. You make a leap,
Yeah.
you touch, or you pull, or you push anything, or you spit. I'm coming for that neck.
Yo,
Okay?
okay. Before we get to the next voicemail, I'm gonna just like expound on that. When it comes to hitting, because I don't want somebody saying, "Oh, Greg hit women," something like that, and then in 4 years, some shit will pop off, and they'll be like, well, "Remember, he said that on that podcast episode." So I want to clarify this. I want to clarify it. No, Greg does not put his hands on women. He will hit a bitch though. The reason why I say that, and I
Mhm.
mean it, is this: there are certain people who know the behavior that they have.
Yeah.
Like for me, there's three different types of women. There are women who threaten to hit you. There are women who won't hit you, and there's women who entice you to hit them so they can
Yeah.
respond. So when I
Yeah.
when I say entice you to hit them to respond, there's the one thing that I saw and I said, yo, if that ever happened to me, I am going to get the biggest woman that I know to beat her fucking ass because I can't do it myself. Like for me, my thing that I hate, and I see it on all the TV shows, and I've seen it at a nightclub,
Mhm.
and this is probably why I hate it, was the forehead with the index. Yo, body did that shit to me. I can guarantee you this: I'm not going to hit you, but I'm going to find somebody to whoop that ass. That
Mhm.
right there is, yo. That's the equivalent of like when your parents tell you you can't go to bed until you finish your homework and you don't know the fucking questions, like you don't know the answers to them, and then your parents, they don't know it either. Like, have you as a parent, so imagine your kid comes to you with homework and they're like, hey mom, I don't know this, and you're trying to convince them that they know it because they went to school that day, but then you look at the problem and you're like, what the fuck is this what the a plus x plus y plus n squared and none of that shit makes fucking sense, but you're
It's
convincing your kid, you have to, if you don't know this, you're not going to bed. To me, that's the equivalent of a woman and a man putting their index finger to your head, like your temple or to your forehead, and just constantly just like tapping you there. Nigga,
all.
do you not understand what I'm saying to you? Let it
First
happen.
of all,
Let it
my kids
happen.
know that when it comes to algebra, I am not your go-to. Okay, that would have been my struggle since algebra was my struggle. Secondly, I wanted to index finger my nephew's forehead last night when he put my
Oh
thermostat on
no.
freeze, but I
Oh
refused.
no, no.
He tried it. He tried.
Oh no. We got to give it a name. It can't be called the index finger. We got to call it like the point in the
The
something.
mush.
We,
Did you do the mush? That's the mush.
the mush. Oh no. See,
Yeah.
anybody mush me, if you're not getting shot, somebody fighting you, and it might or it may not be me. So there's that. Oh, we got voicemails. Go ahead and play the thing.
Yeah, I got 3 daughters, but the great thing about that is I have mostly men in my family. So when my daughters, my oldest daughter, when she first brought her boyfriend to the crib,
Ooh,
you remember that episode from Bad Boys when Will Smith and Martin had homeboy at the door? Yeah, we had homeboy shook to death.
Oh
He
no.
I literally thought he was gonna pee on himself. I
Oh
had to tell him we was playing with him. But my nephews, they did their thing. They had homeboy on the pressure, under serious pressure.
see. Shout out to Lord Shalik, man. Like he is my spirit animal. He is who I want to be when I get off stereo. Whenever I'm done with this shit, I want to be like him. Want to be
I
like him.
I never felt that with my brothers, but I remember when they tried to make me feel away after prom night, and I came in like at 5 a.m. that morning, and they were all having like a mafia meeting in my room, and I was just like, excuse me, let me get in my bed." They was like, "So what happened?" I was like, it was a nice night, no details needed.
See?
And they were
Mm-mm,
just looking like, all right, we're not about to get anything out of here.
trouble.
Yo, the shit that's crazy though. My 19-year-old daughter know that I'm all the way with the shits, yo. So she laughs off situations of something that can go wrong. She'll just be like, you know what? I know my dad to come in here and fuck you up, so I ain't even fucking with you, bro.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
mm.
All people should be scared
Cause
of
here's
a laugh.
yeah, but that's the thing. Like you like as a woman, as a child, as a daughter, like you want somebody to be like, you know what? Even if they can't do it, I'm gonna threaten them to do it. How many people have said shit like, you know what? My cousins and them will whoop your ass, or I'm gonna go call my brother. No, I'm gonna call my father. Like, I want to be that parent that the fact that she mentioned my father threatens you, so I ain't even gotta do shit. She could just say, you know what? It's okay. I'm gonna just call my dad. And if he
These
says,
boys
well,
out
fuck your
here,
punk
they're
ass.
not threatened by that anymore. They don't have no respect.
The reason why here's the thing. The reason why they're threatened by that shit is because they think that they can go and square up with the father. I'm not going to end up on somebody's World Star clip because I'm trying to go, fist to fist with you and fight. I don't do that shit. When I come out the car, I'm not going to the trunk. The shit was with me when I got out. And that's how I'm carrying it. When I go, I'm like, hey, did you put your hands on my daughter? Yes. Okay, cool. What I'm gonna do is either you're gonna take this ass whooping, you're gonna take this bullet, or you're gonna go and apologize. And it's gonna be that. But you get to choose. I'm giving you the option because at that point, I'm not going to the police because the police are going to be like, oh, well, why don't you just, you have a meeting between the parents and things like that. Ain't no fucking meeting between the parents at that point because here's the thing. Your parents are going to be like believing what the fuck you say. But what did you do? Did you put your hands on her? Yes, I put my hands on her. Cool. Well, now I'm putting my hands on you because a woman's not supposed to put her hands on a man, but I'm definitely putting my hands on you.
Yeah.
And then I might put hands on your parents if you act stupid and the parents act stupid too. Because there are a lot of parents who let shit slide. They be like, well, it's not my fault that my kid put their hands on your daughter, but your daughter did what the fuck? Like she's a
Listen,
she's a girl. She's a
right.
girl. So since you said that, I'm whooping your ass after this. But you gonna watch me whoop your kid's ass and enjoy it because I'm doing the shit that you wouldn't do.
And let me say this for FYI. No answer is also an answer.
Mm, mm.
My second daughter, she's my identical. Like this is my. If I was going to be a woman, That's who I would have been. I taught her how to box, so she used to give out the knuckle sandwiches on a regular at school. I was up to school every day, and her mother used to just be giving me all kind of dirty licks. She's like, "This is your fault." I said, "But I had to teach her how to use that right jab." It was just it had to be taught. So all my daughters know how to box.
That's right. Teach your kids how to fight.
Mm.
Teach your kids how to defend themselves. Teach your kids how to shoot a gun if need be. But if you have a gun in your house, be responsible and lock that shit the hell up.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You know something? I'm a man that I will not put my hand on a woman. But with the mother of my kids, I had to revise that because when I told
He
her
said I
that,
had
she
to
thought
revise
that
it.
it was okay to put her hands on me. So I
See,
had to
that's
revise it.
both
I told
ways.
her, if you put your hands on me, all deals are off.
Yeah, it works both ways.
Mm. Yep.
Listen, don't
Yep.
put your hands on anybody unless you're ready for them to put their hands on you. Period. Don't be out here putting your hands on a man and thinking, "Oh, he's gonna respect me because I'm a girl and he's not gonna hit me."
Mm.
Listen, you're in for
Mm.
a rude awakening.
You know, I heard of
Man.
all these stories about women being beat and abused, but
Mhm.
here's where I'm at. The man is there with you. He's going to sleep. He's eating your food. Do what you have to do.
Oh,
Talk, King. You
poison
better
him.
talk that shit. You better talk
Poison
that shit.
him.
I know that for a fact. You better
Yo,
talk that shit, sir.
I totally agree with. I don't put my hands on a woman. I just don't do that. But nobody pushes your buttons
Like
and
a woman.
makes you want to hit them
Yeah.
like a woman that knows you won't hit her.
That right there. That right
Yeah.
there. That's a
Yeah.
conversation right there. Yes,
But that's
indeed.
when y'all have to leave.
But that's the
Y'all
thing.
have to leave or call who y'all need to call or lock yourselves in a room until somebody else gets there because it's gonna be your word against hers and y'all know who gonna have the last word.
Yeah. And but for honestly though, you can leave and she'll follow you and she'll
Yeah.
do shit as you're leaving. Or if you lock yourself in a room, it's still your word against hers. But they're gonna be like, well, why did you lock yourself in a room? To prevent yourself from hitting her or what? And then it's always a or what, but it's never a situation of what the
This
fuck
is
she
what
can
she
do.
said.
I
She was acting crazy and I needed a witness.
you know,
Period.
I would agree. And I do agree. But I have seen situations where one of my boys has called me. He's like, "Yo, Greg, like, he did the same situation. I'm in the guest bathroom right now." I was like, "In the bathroom? What the fuck? Why are you in the bathroom?" He was like,
Mhm.
"Yo, she went through my phone," and I was like, "Okay, so she obviously knew you were doing dirt, but." She liked the fact that you do dirt because it's like the sixth time she done took your ass back, right? He was like, "No, today's different, man." He was like, "Yo, she chasing me around the house with the fucking knife, and I had to grab my phone off the counter and run into the bathroom." He was like, "Yo, can you just call the police?" I'm like, "Nigga, why don't you call the police?" He's like, "They ain't gonna understand if I call them." I was like, what? So he explained, he was like, if you are in the house with a woman and you call the police on them, they're gonna go to her first and get her explanation. And then you are the one they might escort out of the house, but you are
Yeah.
at fault by default because you are a man. I'm like, yo, I didn't realize it was that bad. The guy, and like you're protecting yourself and lock yourself into a room.
Yeah.
That is some crazy shit, man. Like,
And
but I
it
will say
won't
this, lady. Oh,
it
go
will
ahead.
never get fair until men start showing up and speaking out.
Yo, I mean, I knew life wasn't fair for men versus women when I watched A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, and Homegirl whooped her own ass with them oranges, and he got blamed for
Where
it. I was like,
you
what the
go
fuck?
with this
What?
oranges? We not doing this, Greg. We not doing this,
Yo,
Greg.
A
yo, just
woman hits me and I'm gonna hit her back.
oh well,
Yeah.
Terry, that is you allegedly. That is
Listen,
you. Listen.
if it's life or death,
Oh,
I think men and women need to do what they need to do. Period.
yeah. Sit up and hit her
Yo,
back.
if baby girl called me and be like, "Daddy, I need you up here," I'm I'm peeling out of both hands like Morpheus, my nigga.
Man,
It's
what?
over. Ain't yo, it's no talking, my nigga. Somebody got to die, man.
See,
You ever
see.
hear this when dads be like, "Hey, don't call me. Because if you call me, you
Mm-hmm.
know how I'm coming. Don't call me unless you need to call me. And we all know what that means.
Yep. I'm telling you, it's Baylor and Stone and them. Like, yo, they the reasons why I'm probably this crazy. Because the entire fucking time that my wife was pregnant, Stone, he's like, yo, like, Greg, just by the way, the baby when she gets here, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. And the same thing for Baylor. Baylor's like, oh, and you having a girl too? Oh, it's gonna be a problem, man. The rest of
Yeah.
your life. I was like, yo, is it that bad? And they're like, no, like it's not bad. It's good to be a father of a daughter, but there's a lot of shit you got to deal with. And right now, she's only 5 months old, and I'm already dealing with this shit. I'm having dreams of her like cooing, and I'm trying to protect her in my sleep. I'm like, what the is this a thing? And every guy that I know that has a daughter, they say the same thing. It's like, no, that's definitely a thing. You are just protective at all points. My brother, he has a daughter. He's like, Greg, like, I'll tell you this. His daughter's going to college in 2 years, and he's planning for college. I was like, what the fuck are you planning for? He was like, yo, I got to get a decoy at the school. I was like, what the fuck do you mean you got to get a decoy? He's like, I'm trying to sell the house, and I'm going to move up there. That way I can be closer to her just in case she decides to call. I was like, oh, no, see, I ain't going that fucking far. Like that. But as a father of a daughter, these are things that like dads think. They're like, yo, like, I will leave my wife in order to protect my daughter because that's my legacy. That's me right there. So if she needs me, yeah, I'm gonna drive 4 or 5 hours to make sure that she's good. But at the same time, like, I'll go to jail for her. I'll go and kill a nigga for her, even if she's wrong. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of guys that are in prison right now because their daughter said, you know what, my boyfriend, he did me wrong, and she lied to the father, and the father went out and either whooped that kid's ass, killed him, robbed him, shot him. And then she said, you know what, that it didn't actually happen that way. But it's too late at that point. You're going to jail. But the thing is, you happy you went to jail. Here's the thing: you're happy that you went to jail because when you go to jail, they be like, "Hey, but what you in here for?" Oh, I shot a nigga for my daughter, and they be like, "You know what? Cool,
No
cool,
problem.
cool. You safe."
So here go another funny story. Like I said, my second daughter, like I said, she both of us are Leos. She's my splitting image of my attitude, mentality, and everything. So one day, I'm visiting her. I was happened to be in the area where she went to high school, and one of them young dudes that was trying to holler at her saw me talking to her. So he came over there with his chest poked out, and he gonna ask my daughter, "Who's this nigga?" So my daughter
What?
instantly jumped in between us, and she told homeboy, "Don't do it, don't do it. This is my father." And so I look young for my age. So I laughed it off. Did you know homeboy the next day called and he came by our house,
Oh
Did
no,
he
I need more. I need
apologize?
more.
He better
Hold
had
on. Now wait.
apologized.
and
Now wait a minute.
when he came by the house, my daughter had told her mother what happened, and so her mom was like, "Oh, you was about to lose your life." Her father is about that life, homeboy.
You were about
I
to
know he
lose.
look young and all, but he old school, and old school don't get off for you. So yeah, you be careful. You poking your chest out because her father is definitely about that life. These young dudes like you fight, they have they don't have no respect, and I don't have no problem handing out those knuckle sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
I'll beat up a
Mm-hmm.
little kid.
Mm.
it's
Mm. Shout out to Shamik. Now, Shan, you got to reintroduce. You got to reintroduce the show for the people who are in here. More importantly, the people that just honestly just listen to the content.
listen.
So,
Thank y'all for checking out Loudmouth Stereo. My name is Shan from She Gets a Pod. That is Greg from Young Back and Bothered. We started off talking about a topic regarding a biracial child and her wanting to claim herself as just white. It has evolved into daddy father feelings and where you put your hands and showing some ounce of respect somewhere, or it might go south. So that is what we're discussing: family, ignorance, kids, fathers and daughters. When do you step in as a parent? All of that in the mix. And thank y'all for checking out the show.
Hey,
absolutely.
listen, my mother taught us that very early. She said, "Don't you ever put your hand on a woman." But anytime that woman start acting like a man and she take a swing at you, you knock her block off. You don't beat her up, but you
Mm-hmm.
give her that one good shot to let her know, don't come back for no more.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Okay.
just make sure you have your iPhone. Make sure you have your iPhone, because what you got to do is you got to pull out the camera app. You pull it out and ask him like, "Hey, yo, hey, respectfully, do you want this ass whooping? Because what did you say again? What did you do again? Explain what you did." Because I need evidence. Because, like Shane said, it's your word against hers. But the issue is there are a lot of people who want to perform while there's no audience, and then when the police come and all that shit happens, all of a sudden it's a, well, I didn't actually do that. He's
The
lying, and this is what really happened. Mm-mm. But yeah, so exactly. So what you want to do, fellas, is record that shit. Like my wife, when we have arguments, she be thinking like, "Oh, well, Greg ain't shit because I pull out the notes app." Because I'm like, "Yo, you want to argue?
You be
The honor,
taking notes during arguments, that'll
yeah,
piss me off.
I'm telling you, like the notes app on your phone as a married man, it will save you from a lot of headaches. Because
Oh,
if she say something to you or he say something to you, all you got to do is just go back to that, be like, "Well, remember we had this
Greg
discussion
said
about that."
I give you all the receipts.
I'm
I'm going.
it just it's what it is. But we got voicemails. I'm gonna be quiet because we got to get through these. Go ahead.
You know, you're exactly right. But when me and the mother of my kids were together, I used to have a camera right there by the front door to see who it
Boom.
is. So when we get into a fight, I walk right over there, and whatever happens, happens. But I ain't
Mm.
gonna put my hands on a
Mm,
woman. I'm gonna say it again. I'm not gonna put my hands on a woman. But if a woman puts her hands on me,
mm,
it's gonna get bad.
Oh,
yep.
I don't have no problem with that.
Damn, she whipped her own ass. You already know. Damn, dog.
It was a
See.
movie. Don't listen to Greg.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Men need to start speaking up. But a great thing about New York City now, being that they have these women that were putting in so many false abuse calls. Now, when the police show up, if both of you are fighting in the house, and they typically tell both of you, if he could press charges against you, and both of y'all go to jail. So women kind of backed off of that just a little bit, but they still try their hand. But here in New York, yeah, if you get into a domestic situation, both of y'all going taking that ride.
Mm,
That's how it is in Florida. But I don't like that either, because what it does is it forces men and women to have an issue, have a police officer come, they say nothing's going on, and then once that police officer leave, they gonna solve it however they was gonna solve it to begin with. So it's kind of like saying, "Don't call us."
mm-hmm.
It's not saying don't call us because there is no problem. It's saying solve it yourself. Don't call us. So you're basically asking for a homicide. You're basically asking for somebody to get the result who can't fight or who can't protect themselves. And you're basically asking for a shittier outcome before you actually be preventative. And I think that's stupid. But I do think a lot
Yeah.
of women do false accuse men of doing things that they're not doing, which sucks for the women who are actually being abused.
A woman's gonna fight like a man. I'm gonna treat her like a man and whoop her fucking ass.
I mean, that's how they agree. That's
Yo, my nigga, that shit is so real, nigga. I low key conned my daughter into going to college 30 minutes away just in case something happened and I had to get there.
that sounds like some daddy stuff. Y'all know how to talk to y'all daughters in a way to make them feel guilty.
You know something?
Mm,
One day, this girl I was with, she was like a jokester. So she got a friend to call me and tell me that her ex was outside beating the hell out of her and smacked her daughter.
Oh no.
Man, by the time I hanged up the phone, I got into my car, grabbed my 357 Magnum, and when I was up there, I jumped out the car. I said, "Where is he?" I said, "Don't be doing crap like that. You tell me something like that, it's gonna get bad."
Why would you play like that? Don't play.
Yo, straight up, yo, shout out to Shamik, man. Like, I ain't gonna lie, man. A young boy approached me on some bullshit while I was with my entire family, my nigga. And
Mm.
the only thing that stopped me from killing this nigga was wife was like, baby, please, yo, she ain't never looked at the dude at all. She came straight to me, was like, baby, please don't do this to him, son. Yo, shit is real out here, man. It's my queen.
See, the fact that she said, "Please don't do it to him," she already knew it was going to be the end for him. That was going to be night night. He was
Listen,
going to go night night.
listen, be
Are
Right.
prepared.
you
Bye,
ignorant
baby.
if you smoke weed and raise your kid while you're smoking weed?
What?
No,
What? What is that?
ignorant for smoking weed. What the fuck?
I'm
Oh,
confused.
thing.
How
I'm
old
going to
is a
ask the
kid,
question.
so or a teenager? Like, how old should they be in order to get an ass whipping? I mean, I don't want to just ass whip because I'm angry. I want to do it for the right reasons. But is an age limit appropriate for an ass whipping? What y'all think?
Um, Greg's not there.
I got
I I don't know if
yeah.
Greg's going to be there, but for me, my 6-year-old gets her butt whooped with the belt, but that's the last resort. Because she knows better and she could come and explain stuff to me. My 3-year-old, I just have to look at her in a way or just talk to her, and she feels guilty. So it depends on what
Yeah.
kind of child you have, because the more, however you start disciplining your child, you're going to have to
Mm-hmm.
top it as they get older.
Exactly.
And your kids
Yep.
sometimes get to a point where they're bigger than you, they're faster than
Mm-hmm.
you, they're stronger than you, and then they're going to get to a point where they start smelling themselves and they go try to size you up. And I am 5'5", and I know I'm gonna have to have the Vaseline because my 7-year-old is already at my shoulders.
Yep. I
So,
know me as a father, like I just want to strike the fear of God in my kid. My wife, she's probably going to do that because like I can see my daughter doing that transition of like, I love you, mom, but like dad, like I'm going to punk him forever. And
mm,
newsflash, you probably will. She probably will punk me. But I also want to instill the fear of God of yes, I'll do anything for you. And the answer is always yes, as long as you do the things that I tell you or the things that I know that are safe for you. So, say for example, if you're going to go and stand on a ledge, and I tell you, hey, don't go stand on that ledge because you can fall and hurt yourself, and you consistently do that, the reason why you're doing it is because you know you can get away with it. However, if I strike the fear of God in you, and you're like, oh shit, like if I do this, my father is going to either there's going to be a punishment to it, there might be a spanking to it, and I know now we're socially saying we can't spank our kids. Newsflash, I'm going to be spanking my kid. I just
yes,
know this. I'm not going to
yes,
be T.I. and be like, the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want her to become a hoe or some shit like that.
yes.
That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I'm spanking my kid as the ultimate result of your that is the consequence of your actions at the end. That is the last resort because clearly I can't get through to you by talking, like on a peer to peer, a person to person level. I can't go and tap you on the hand because you're like, he tapped me on the hand, it's okay, but imagine you tap a dog on like the thigh or something like that. Yeah, you
Some
tap it,
kids
and 5 minutes later,
more,
go ahead.
and for instance, I'm an example parent. I'm gonna tell
Mm-hmm.
you to stop what you're doing before this happens, and you're gonna keep doing it. My three,
Mm-hmm.
she loves to run in the house and jump on the floors and bounce. And I said, Ari, you're gonna jump and you're gonna fall because it's wood floors, and I like to clean my floors. And she jumped in the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen. She fell back on her back, and I didn't run up to her. She was screaming, and I walked up to her and I put both of my legs over her body and I squat down and I said, "Uh-huh, told you. That's what
Mm-hmm.
you get." And that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come to me
Yep.
for me to hush you. Nothing. Is your back
Yep.
broke? Can you get up? Is it burning? Okay. She ain't
Mm-hmm.
jumping in the kitchen no more. And sometimes you just gonna have to let your kid feel it for them to understand that they shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, see, I used to run into a lot of trouble because as a boxer, they make you register your hands. And that's the first thing one of my daughter's mothers used to say. Oh, his hands is registered. And he knows how to punch. That was her favorite line. He knows how to throw a punch. Used to get me jammed up all the time when we got into arguments. So I just learned to stay away from her. When she started that arguing shit, I ran to the door.
Oh
Said,
man.
I'm done. Call me on the phone. We talk about the shit later. You ain't gonna
Mm-mm.
get the boys on me every time.
That's crazy.
Honestly,
Sometimes,
that is one of the reasons. Oh, go ahead.
no, sometimes you just don't want to let people know that because they use it against you.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yo, I don't know, man. The way little mama be punking Greg with them keys, man. I think he ready to
Man,
lay
what?
hands on her.
Yeah,
What you talking about?
yeah. Oh, Sky be punking the shit out of me. Like to this day, I've been trying to figure out. I'm like, yo, like, am I being am I over parenting? Like, cause she'll look at me and she'll smile, and I'll pick her up because like she's either doing tummy time or she's sitting in the chair, and she'll like today she was sitting in the chair, and she's looking at me as I'm sitting on the couch. I know she's fine. There's nothing harming her, and she just randomly starts crying. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just let her sit there for a couple minutes. I let her sit there, and she kept crying. So I was like, okay, she's gonna keep crying. Should I pick her up? And I said, you know what? Fuck that. No, she needs to sit there because I have things I need to do. So now I'm getting off the couch and I'm doing the things I'm doing around the house. So the entire time I'm doing it, she's staring at me. But then whenever I give her eye contact back, she starts crying. So I go over to her, I pick her up, and she instantly stopped crying. And then today, out of any of the days, today she goes and does this shit where I pick her up, she stops crying, and then she laughs. She hit me with the I was like, oh, she got me. Hmm. So ever since then, I was like, you know
She just,
what?
she just
Never again.
testing out what her noises make people do.
No, but she hit me with the he, like the this dumb nigga here. Like he don't realize, like the rest of his life is done. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm definitely the father of a girl because not only did she punk me, but I held. It wasn't like I just picked her up to make her stop crying. I held her like for like another 15, 20 minutes. My arm was heavy as shit. Like it felt like I had lifted like nothing but boxes all day because nobody, and this is actually Stone's fault. So shout out to Stone for never telling me this. Babies are cute, but when babies go past like the 10 to 12 pound range,
Yep.
picking them up ain't the same. Yo,
Yep.
she's 15 pounds right now. And I was like, yo, you are like holding a full book bag, and this shit is not cute no more. Like, I just want to put you down because my arm hurts. But she loves it, so I have to do it because I'm her father. That's me getting punked by my kid, I guess.
Mm. Listen.
See me, I'm an older man, and I'm old school. When my kids
Hmm.
were young, they were giving them 800 numbers in school for child welfare. So when my sons come and tell me that, I looked at him and told him, "Let me tell you something. I will beat your tail and take you right to child welfare's front door."
Hood Rat to Harvard is a new podcast just for you. It's a storytelling adventure in hood tales with me, Chandrika Simmons, the law chick. I tell and curate unbelievable but fact checkable tales of growing up in the projects, military bases, and rental houses throughout the United States. Come on this adventure with me, and you will be geeked that you did. I've lived everywhere from Phoenix, Arizona to Cambridge, Massachusetts. That's Hood Rat to Harvard. HOODRAT, the number two, Harvard, HARVARD. Hood Rat to Harvard. You won't be disappointed.
And told them and tell them I did it.
Mm.
I remember when they
See,
was trying
that's
to
it.
use that as a threat for their parents. I said, listen, I don't
Hmm.
know where you about to end up or where you about to go, but if you want to try it, go for it.
Yo,
Go for it.
my mom whooped me in front. My mom whooped me in front. I called 88 number back in like 1994. I figured, oh, it's cool. I can go ahead and call them because my mom, she gave me a spanking. She gave me a spanking. I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna call. I grabbed the house phone and I called. You know what she did? She waited until the people came. So the people came, and then when they got there, they knocked on the door. And the lady comes over because I had the address and everything. So I told the address. The next day, they didn't come that same time. They came the next day and they sat us on the couch. And my mom said this. She said, well, one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to whoop his ass or you're going to take him now. And I was like, wait, what the fuck do you mean? Like, this is what I'm thinking as like a fucking 8-year-old. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, so I got to get a whooping in front of people or they're going to have to take me. So she told them, she was like, explain to him what happens if you have to take him from me. So they explained, they were like, hey, you may go into a foster home. I'm 8. I don't know what the fuck a foster home is. They're like, a foster home, you may or may not get new parents, but you will have to live in group housing and things like that. And I was like, wait a minute. I got my own bed. I got my own room. I got a TV. I'm 8. Like, I'm very privileged. So my mom says, now, this is the consequence of your action. And she persists to whoop my ass in front of the CPS person. And this is when I knew CPS wasn't shit. I knew CPS wasn't shit because the lady said, she was like, that is a parent that loves you and they do not want you to go through the system. And I was like, bitch, I just got whooped in front of you. And you're trying to tell me that this was for my benefit? Like, no. So I got
As
two.
a child, you do not want to hear that your parents beat you because they love you. You do not want to hear that shit.
Yo, there's nothing worse than that. Or after they whoop you and then they send you to your room or wherever the fuck they tell you to go to, and then they come after you and try to explain themselves. Bitch, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. Like, honestly, if the kitchen was closer, I would grab a knife and probably stab you. Like, at that point, I felt like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Like, just go to France and leave me the fuck alone. Like, I want nothing to do with you. Like, yo, my mom she was like one of the few parents that I know that would whoop me, send me to my room after punishing me. And she would say shit like, you know what? You're punished. Go to your room, no TV, no computer, no none of that shit. So me, I was a reader anyway. So one time she punished me and she told me, no books, no TV. I was like, what the fuck do you want me to do? So she says, you know what? No, honestly, I can call my mom right now. She grounded me, and I've never forgiven her for this. She grounded me for an entire year. So what happened was basically, I think it was around like January or February. She told me, she was like, you can't have anybody come to the house. Nobody can come in the house, rather. She was like, nobody can come in the house while we're not home. So I was like, you know what? Nobody can come in the house, but you didn't say anything about the balcony. So the balcony, we had like a townhouse that was sitting on the corner of all the townhomes. So there was a gate, and all you had to do was go into the gate, and then you can go to the backyard. And we had like the patio and the stairs and stuff like that. So people can go and just hang out there. So one of my friends came over because even though he couldn't come in the house, he could sit on the balcony, on the patio. My neighbor snitching ass goes and calls my mom. It's like, oh, well, one of Greg's friends is sitting on your balcony right now, blah, 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 blah. So my mom tells me, she was like, well, you're grounded for the rest of the year. Ain't no Christmas. I was like, what the fuck you mean ain't no Christmas? Do you know, not only was I grounded from January to December, I could not watch TV for a year. I don't know what the fuck happened in Power Rangers. I'm assuming that all the superheroes died that year because I didn't know what the fuck happened. So that entire year, no TV, no internet, no computer. And then for Christmas, mind you, I have a sister. So she tells me, she was like, well, you come down, it's Christmas morning. Imagine being told for Christmas morning, you come down to get gifts. Everybody opening gifts but you. She sat me down and made me watch people get gifts. I was like, yo, for the rest of my life, I'm going to hate this bitch for some unknown reason. So I finally told my mom.
Oh my God.
No lie. I finally told my mom, I was like, you know what's going to happen? You're going to get old. And I still remember this because I told her, I was like, at 32, when I told her, at 32, I still remember what you did to me when I was 8, 9 years old. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to eventually have to go to a retirement home. I'm going to eventually have to start taking care of you. I'm going to take 11 months off and see how good you do. And then month 12, I'm going to still wait. I'm going to just let you know this is the consequence of your action because of that one Christmas.
And this is why you have 2 children and not one, guys.
See?
Okay.
See?
Like 2 children.
Yeah, you gotta plant that fear in God in the early, Greg. Start early. Give them those serious looks. Don't sit around laughing and joking with them with every situation. And I never had to beat any of my kids because as soon as they thought they was gonna get a beating, oh man, they was already bawling, falling on the floor. They made me feel so bad that I had them scared so bad. But yeah, you got to plant the fear of God in them, and then just letting them see how you handle other situations will let them know I'm not really ready to challenge him. Yeah, that's my advice.
See.
I'm still working on my wicked eye. Okay.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh yeah, Shan. Uh, I had a similar situation with my daughter, with my oldest daughter. She jumping off the bed, and she jumped off her bed and hit her head on the dresser. And that's how I
Mm-hmm.
deal with my kids too. I Their dad, when they hurt themselves, their dad want to be, oh, come here, let me kiss it, and I
Yeah.
just be calmly being like, I told your ass to
Right.
stop. So
Right.
no, I'm not gonna run and kiss it after I repeatedly told you to stop doing that shit. You should know better by now. And
Right.
and I have a whole full trampoline outside, so my kids, if they want to jump and get the energy off, they can go jump on the trampoline outside. So when she hit her head on that dresser, I calmly gave her some ice.
Not the ice though.
I
She said
am
I
not
calmly
going.
gave him some ice. She said I
The girl's
calmly gave
gonna
him some ice.
find it.
Oh my
Seriously.
god.
She said I calmly got her some ice.
I don't know how what your age is, but back in the days when I did something wrong, it was a choice of weapons. Anything she could put her hand
Hmm.
on, a electric cord,
Woo,
a Johnny Lightning track,
woo.
anything. Or she would make you go outside and get a switch.
Mm,
That's what they do now. They take away all the authority from these parents. That's why there's a
hmm.
whole lot of monsters out, little monsters out here.
Yep. Yep. Oh, there are parents that are scared of their kids. How many times have you gone in the mall and be like, yo, like I remember when parents used to put monkey leashes on their kids, and
I
if they got
that
too far, all they had to do was just like round their ass back up. Yo,
yeah.
that's illegal in DC now. It's illegal. You cannot put a leash on your kid. And mind you, the fact that I said leash it actually sounds fucked up, but in theory, I would rather put that on my kid or the little backpack to make sure that they're near me versus just saying, you know what, I'm gonna just let my kid roam free in a fucking Macy's or at a mall or something like that. I've seen
Um,
that shit happen.
most Asian people with toddlers, they get them those squeaky shoes where you hear them squeaky squeaky
Hmm.
squeaky squeaky.
Well,
Like I don't like that, but I just feel like you don't need no leash on no baby. Y'all need to chill out.
yeah,
Crazy. But this is a good show.
yeah,
This is a good show. What did you learn,
yes.
Greg?
I learned that parenting is definitely hard. Regardless if you have a kid that is, biracial, or just have a kid that, they might have a boyfriend, or they just might be a daddy's girl. Parenting is definitely very hard. In terms of the first part of the show, I've learned that it's just rough being a dad. I can't speak for her mother or any mother in general, but for me being a father of a little girl that is biracial, I'm always going to be cautious of how I approach things to her, and I'm always going to wonder how she's going to actually take them. Um, and for the first time in my life, I'm actually kind of concerned because I'm always like wondering like she's gonna always have that establishment between her mom's side of the family. So
Hmm.
with them acknowledging her that way, I just don't want her to end up like that article where she embraces her white side, but white people don't embrace her. So she takes the family aspect of it, like, oh, my grandmother, she accepts me. My grandfather accepts me. My mom accepts me. So since accept me, then all white people should accept me because honestly, all white people don't and they won't.
And that is what you
And
tell. That is what that's all you tell her.
Yeah, but
Some
that's the
people
thing.
want to be your friend. Some people are not going to like you.
It's easy. It's easy to tell them that. It's easy to, do a lot of that, and that's on me to kind of instill in my wife to say, you know what, like we as a collective, as a pair, need to go and talk to our child and say, you know what, like.
Oh no, Greg is going out.
So my youngest daughter has a different father from my oldest three, and give you a little backstory on my youngest daughter's dad. He was abusive, so he put his hands on me, and no, because anybody knows me knows I'm like the sweet, shy girl. So,
Mm-hmm.
needless to say, when he would put it, when he was putting his hands on me, it wasn't because I put my hands on him first. He just I would just do some shit he wouldn't like, and he would hit me. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like with my youngest daughter, his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she gonna be the one that's gonna be doing that crazy shit like her dad. I feel like
Because
she gonna try to fight me and get crazy.
yeah,
Mm,
my youngest child is like that too. Her dad, the way that he solves stuff is by making other people feel small. And
mm,
whenever my 3-year-old gets out of hand or she's not behaving, her favorite thing right now is to bite my 7-year-old's baby back ribs. And the thing is like, well, maybe somebody was doing something to her for her to want to bite. No, she'll bite
mm,
just because she doesn't know how to express herself verbally as to you bothering her, and she'll just bite you because she thinks that's going to solve something. And every time
mm.
he's always looking to see why she did it, not punish her because she did it. And so I'm always having that.
Oh. Mm, mm,
So
mm.
she can worry about why she did it later, but for right now, she wasn't supposed to do it. But she
That's
gonna she gonna
crazy, man.
she gonna give him a whole head of gray, and I'm gonna be looking at both of them like, okay.
Mm, mm.
Well, you choose to do that kind of stuff, mate. So, yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What you talking
You gotta
about?
expound. You gotta expound, my friend. You gotta say something better than that.
Yeah.
So I feel like with her, I'm gonna have to start getting some fucking boxing classes now because and now like she's 3, so she has a funky ass attitude
Hmm.
when she
Is
doesn't
it?
get her way. She
Yes.
tries to throw a tantrum, you know. I don't, Shan. I'm like you. I make whooping them the last result, but I've had to bring the belt out on my 3-year-old, and I don't really repeatedly beat them with it when I do get it out. Um, it's just like one swipe and
Mm-hmm.
there
Mm-hmm.
it ends it. But oh yeah, I really feel like my youngest daughter, she gonna be the one that give me hell. Yeah.
Oh
Sierra,
Lord.
like we are raising the same child. She likes to lie. She'll look you in the
Mm,
face, and as soon as she's getting in trouble, she'll come hug you and kiss you. That is, we have the same child, okay? And the way that you curb her is you see through
oh
all of
no.
that. She thinks that she's above cleaning up. She thinks that she's above. If I tell her these are my cookies and no, you may not have them, she'll look me in my face while she picks one of my cookies up. Yes, we are going to have to fight, and that is okay.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I
Mm,
the mother of my kids, she was a bad companion to me, but when it comes to these kids, she really was raising these kids, and every time they got into trouble and they tried to go between both of us, me and her, it's like a tag team wrestling match. I'm
Mm.
tagging her
mm,
in, she tagging me in.
mm,
Oh yeah. I always tell her, "Oh, so you mad? Okay, make sure you tell your daddy about this, and make sure you tell your daddy that I
mm,
beat, and make sure you tell your
mm.
daddy that you've been wiping your nasty boogies on my wall." And I sent him screenshots, and he'd be like, "Well, why is she doing that?" I said, "I don't know, but I suggest you go check your walls in your house."
Exactly.
Right? things that she does, I'm just like, I don't know who she get this from, but I never did this. My other kid never did this, so she must get it from you.
Oh, you opened up a can of worms right there.
Hey, listen, if you guys don't want to use the belt, my father had the perfect technique, and it worked on us, and it worked on my kids too. You take your middle finger and your thumb, and you pluck them right in the center of their neck.
Oh
A
no!
nice, good plucking. Pow! Get them straight all the time.
Yes.
My sons used to had to pop them repeatedly, but once they saw me put my fingers together, oh man, they already balling up and straightening up. That pop right behind the neck works every time. You ain't got to reach for no belt.
Especially because you got them thick ass knuckles and those thick ass from boxing. I know that hurt.
Shout out to Shamik, man. Shout out to Lord Shamik.
Yeah, I'm not plucking nobody because it'll probably hurt my finger.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's funny that you say that because, you know, I have 3 daughters. And I feel like I'm the mediator between them. Like my oldest one, you know, is by a different mom. So my other 2, I pretty much I raised them in the house. So we was together still with her mom. But it's funny that I had to give them the speech that, you know, I know who your mother is and you don't want to go there. You know, the second oldest one had to go there and she learned the lesson. And I guess the youngest one that we thought was going to be a problem saw how mama was. So I guess she figured it was wise not to go there, so she didn't go there. So the second one, I guess, what had to be the example. But yeah, it's crazy. You know, you go through that little power struggle where they feeling themselves with their moms. But, you know, my daughters are their mom's best friends now.
That's it.
That shit has to be rough, man.
I mean, both of my daughters are daddy's girls, but I know which one is gonna lie. I know which one is gonna snitch. I know which one is gonna be steal the car keys. I already know, right?
Oh no! And did you say you already know?
Listen, it's called being an observant parent and just knowing what you up against and being prepared. I'm definitely gonna be that mom in the corner of the dark room while they thinking they sneaking upstairs, and I'm gonna be like, "So how was it? Did you enjoy yourself? Because you clearly came in late." Oh yeah, I'm gonna be that parent.
Oh Lord,
it'll be fun. I'm gonna play these
trouble,
and then we gonna close.
Yeah, we gonna be out.
But as far as being dad, I ain't gonna lie. I give my daughters anything they want, you know. And the beautiful thing about that is my daughters have an example of what it is to have a man in their life because of me. Because, like I tell them all the time, if a man comes in your life, he doesn't treat you like I treat your mom, then he's not for you. So I think that's an important tool of a father with the daughter, is setting that standard for her to know what she needs and how she is to be valued. And I think a lot of women kind of, who don't have those examples, kind of do the searching and get hurt and damaged along the way. So I believe fathers are very, very important to daughters. You know, we always talk about fathers to sons, but I think fathers are very much important asset to a daughter's life too, because he's going to set the bar of what she brings into her life as it comes to men.
Agreed.
Yes, very important.
I'm telling you, if you don't want to do the neck, pluck them on the tip of their ear. Those soft muscles, that soft skin around the ear and right in between the neck. Right in between the neck is really soft. So if you pluck them good enough, oh man, that sting goes through their spine and it registers in their brain. I'm telling you, if you don't want to do the neck, get them right on the ear. Pow!
Oh Lord. Oh my God, yo. Y'all are funny. Y'all are fucking hilarious, man. Oh shit. I was about to try to close out, and here we are. We still here.
All right, I'll play this one more and then close out.
It's funny. Hey Greg, that you laugh as she gets it when she says that. But it is the truth. Like my baby mama, the youngest one, That's the one that lies. That's the one that can be deceitful. That's the one that, boy, is she a handful, but she's a good kid. You know, right now at the age of 16, when she first turned 16, she got, my baby got 3 jobs. You know,
Yay.
she handling her business, but at the same token, she is not beyond the BS. Trust me when I tell you. So, you know, you got to keep an eye on mama. That's what I call my baby. That mom, we got to keep an eye on mama, because mama can be on her bullshit. At 16, she can really be on it, you know. You know, my second one, Talisa, she's too old to, she too honest. She can't lie. She's the
Yeah,
girly
she
girl
too
out of the
honest.
bunch. So, you know, and my oldest one, you know, hey, she can be on her own thing. But yeah, that youngest one, oh my God, yeah, you got to keep an eye on her.
Mm. Oh yeah,
Mm-mm.
y'all scaring the shit out of me now. Y'all are definitely scaring the shit out of me.
Listen, take your
Cause
time,
I'm
Greg.
ready.
Or
I'm
cozy
ready,
down.
but y'all scaring the shit out of me. I'm definitely ready though. I need to see this. I need to hear this. So shout out to y'all for being amazing, man. Like, damn, shit, we got another voicemail. How did this happen, Shan? This is
No,
your fault.
let them rack up. So we about to close out the show. So leave all your voicemails. If you like the show, clap it up. Please share it. Don't forget to follow us on Young Black and Bothered with Greg on that podcast and She Gets It podcast. If you're a parent, you can follow Cozy Womb podcast on all your podcast platforms. We are here on Wednesdays, hump days. We are here on Saturdays. Greg will be back here tomorrow with Corey at 6. Is it 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. So y'all be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, right before y'all Monday rush. So he gonna get you correct, but we are about to close out this show. Greg, what did you learn?
I learned. I believe that with.
What happened?
I said I learned that I will not be the only parent.
Why you think keep going out every time? I can't hear you, but I'm about to play these voicemails. Okay,
So
can you hear
stereo,
me?
so stereo, yeah. So stereo tried to censor me for saying what I said. I'm gonna say it again.
What did you say?
What I learned today was I am not the only parent that will shoot a motherfucker for their kid. So
Yes.
yes, that is what. Not only did I learn it today, but I also learned that there are a lot of men. Shout out to all the voicemails. Shout out to all the listeners. There are a lot of men that care not only about their children, but the women that they have children with. That
Yeah.
made me so happy to hear that there was not a single voicemail that we played tonight where there was a guy who said, "Well, I love my kid, I love my my baby, but my baby mom, she crazy." There was none of that tonight. So
Yeah.
there's hope for the world, but more importantly, there are men in the world that care about the women that they love because of the fact that they are the woman that they love, not just because of the fact that they gave them the child that they love. So shout out to the men for continuously being amazing. And shout out to you guys for obviously being a part of the comments, being a part of the Stereo Live broadcast, and a part of the podcast because you need to follow both She Gets It, Cozy Womb podcast, and Young Black and Bothered. That's all I have to say.
Facts.
And, you know, as far as punishment goes, you know, we pay the bill for them all them iPhones. You know, all my kids got iPhones. I got a total of 5 in the house.
Jeez.
And if I ever want to, like I told my
Turn
wife,
that
you ain't
Wi-Fi
gotta
off.
scream, you ain't gotta holler.
Turn that
Just
Wi-Fi
stick
off.
your hand out and say, give me that phone. It's like taking their life away. Give me that PlayStation. Taking their life away. See, I've learned I replace any type of corporal punishment with the word, give me that. Because you ain't
Yeah.
paid for it. And until you get yourself together, I gave you that out of love. I can take it away out of love. So let's get that established. And that has been the ultimate punishment. It's like they're going to die.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Yo, I gotta do something. Only time I had to hit my kids was one time. All
Mm.
the other times, the only thing I had to do was just pick up the belt and come in there swinging it, just swinging it back and forth, and everybody go to sleep. Everybody get quiet. When they see that belt, everything freezes in the house.
Listen, when I tell you my 3-year-old, as soon as she hear the buckles cling together, she's like, "No,
Oh no.
please don't do that." Yo, they have the sound down. Okay,
Oh my god.
I don't even pick it up and bring it most times. I just go near it and lift it up so she can hear it because I had enough.
Mm-mm-mm.
Tired of talking.
Yo, I love the show. I get here as much as I can, and shout out to them titties, yo.
So shout out to the
So,
Smith.
get some food. I appreciate you for coming through.
Yes,
Please,
indeed.
Yo, my nigga, for real? I shoot a nigga for yours. You know what it is.
Absolutely, man. We don't play that shit. We one band, one sound around here, man. If Stone said Greg, like, hey, some shit going down, I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with prison. I'm all right. I know they serve macaroni on Tuesday, so let's go.
Y'all, I want to leave my father's favorite statement to us. I made you so I can get rid of you. And if you don't think I can't do it, I can make another one look just like you. Look at your brother.
Mm.
Oh no.
That was his favorite line. I definitely can replace you. But in all seriousness, always great conversation. You guys are the best. Greg, I'm going to catch you on Monday on the
Absolutely.
sports desk to leave that Kyrie sighting with you.
Yep.
But once again, thanks for having me. It's always been a pleasure. Greg, you're going to do good. You're going to be great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Shamik, man. I appreciate that. But Maggie,
I do that with my kids too. Soon as they don't sit down and listen like I told them to, all I have to really say is, "Where's that belt at?" And then they sit down and they be quiet.
I hear
see?
them.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Bring me my belt. No, okay. We're gonna clean up. We're gonna do it.
Oh my
It was a
Lord.
good show, man. Excellent.
Thank you.
You all have a good evening.
You
Appreciate you for
too.
coming.
Thank you so much, man.
All right. What did I learn? What did I learn? People just still out here ignorant, and you just gotta keep
Mm-hmm.
and deliberate in the things that you say and addressing people head on with their BS. And once they see that you're not with the BS and you see through their condescending compliments, they'll back up. Okay. And don't
Mm.
be afraid to explain to your child why they're different. Don't be afraid to explain to your child what people will possibly call them when they leave your house. Because what you don't prepare them for, somebody else will, and they're
Mm.
telling them the wrong thing. So,
Mm. Uh-oh. Talking the truth. Talking a truth.
Ed, thank you for checking out Loudmouth Stereo. My name is Shan from She Gets a Podcast, Cozy Room Podcast. That is Greg from Young Black and Bothered. Please follow us on all platforms. This whole